Good day everyone, especially to you ma'am. So this evening we will going to discuss about extra-chromosomal inheritance, and we are the group 6. So the content of our discussion is all about what is extra-chromosomal inheritance, cytoplasmic inheritance, cytoplasmic particles, chloroplast, and mitochondria. So what is extra-chromosomal inheritance? Extra-chromosomal inheritance refers to DNA that is found in the cytoplasm rather than on chromosomes and follows a non-Mendelian pattern of heredity. A structure located inside the cell nucleus, proteins and DNA are grouped into genes on a chromosome. Some maternal inheritance indicated cytoplasmic influence which is independent of the nucleus, but this is not self-perpetuating and disappears in the subsequent generation. Plasmids or plasma genes or cytogenes or plasmods, however, are capable of self-perpetuation and independent transmission and may therefore be considered as genetic units fully equal to those in the chromosomes. Extra-chromosomal inheritance or inheritance through plasmid tends to be maternal because most of the zygote cytoplasm is derived from the egg. So, ang extra-chromosomal inheritance or cytoplasmic inheritance, according to my research, so ang extra means other than, while ang chromo means nucleus, and inheritance means transmission of DNA from parents to offspring. So when we say extra-chromosomal inheritance, it means some traits or characteristics nga mapasa through DNA nga makita nato sa cytoplasm of the cell, not in the chromosomes of the nucleus. So kaning extra-chromosomal inheritance, it doesn't follow the usual Mendelian law or rule ni Mendelian like kanang dominant and recessive traits. So, moreover, ang extra-chromosomal inheritance da is mao ni siya ang genetic traits nga wala nagikan sa nucleus kundi sa cytoplasmic organelles like mitochondria, plasmids, or chloroplast. So, then ang kaning kuan extra-chromosomal inheritance na ni siya i-own nga pag-inherit. So, nani siya i-own nga pag-inherit, so wala ni siya misunod sa rule ni Mendel like law of segregation and independent assortment. So kabalo naman tawag kung sa ang law of segregation and independent assortment kay na-discuss naman na to. So kaning extra-chromosomal inheritance gipasa ni siya gikan sa mama. So this type of inheritance or what we call extra-chromosomal inheritance nag-involve ni siya of traits that being passed from the maternal. Why? Because ang egg cell nag-contain siya og cytoplasm and its organelles is larger and more abundant than the sperm cell. That's why kanang maternal siya kay mas abundant ang egg cell compare sa sperm cell. So from the word maternal nagikan sa mama. So next is there are types of reciprocal process give different results. A situation similar to delayed chromosomal inheritance. So first is cytoplasmic inheritance, cytoplasmic particles, chloroplast, and mitochondria. So, sa next slide, so Mr. Puagang will take over to discuss the cytoplasmic inheritance. Once again, I am Mariel Paulo.
Good day, ma'am. I'm Mr. Puagang, and my topic for today is cytoplasmic inheritance. So, what is cytoplasmic inheritance? Cytoplasmic inheritance in Clydomonas, a single-celled green alga, for example, streptomycin-resistant SR or sensitive SS occurs. To be inherited regular Mendelian fashion so that SRSS produce one half of SR and one half of SS offspring. One resistant strain SR is 500 acts differently. If SR 500 is empty and one is empty, all offspring R is R. However, on a reciprocal cross, S is empty, is empty, small, all offspring R is S. So, same rin po ni siya sa magkatong Punnett square. Next is then signs as a result cannot be explained on the basis of chromosomal segregation, in which one is R and one is ratio is expected. They are ascribed to an extrachromosomal factor transmitted only to plasmating types. So there is some structure of mating types. So there are zygote, egg, and sperm, and then only mother gametes will inherit the cytoplasmic. In my research is the example of cytoplasmic inheritance, also known as the extranuclear inheritance, refer the passing of the trait of characteristic from parent to offspring through to the cytoplasm of cell rather than through of nucleus. The characteristic of cytoplasmic inheritance is a non-Mendelian inheritance. Cytoplasmic inheritance does not follow the traditional Mendelian law of inheritance. So, ang cytoplasmic inheritance kay wala siya nag-follow sa Mendelian law. Muna yung ang characteristic niya. Cytoplasmic traits are typically inherited from the mother. As sa giingon na ni Miss Paulo kaganina nga only the mother can inherit as only a the suffering of a genetic material that occurs during a meiosis, influence of environmental factor. Cytoplasmic rate can be influenced by environmental factors such as temperature or light. So, pag mag-inherit, so dapo pod og impact ang environmental ani kay ang environmental is one of basis nga makahatag og traits pag-inherit. For example, ang light during the during the transmit of inheritance, light can be disrupted by the inheritance of cytoplasmic. So next is cytoplasmic particles. Cytoplasmic particles is Sonneborn in 1943 studied the inheritance of the killer versus sensitive trait, the Paramecium aurelia. To be a killer, Paramecium must have the gene key and a complete of cytoplasmic particles material called kappa. Sensitive animals are those that lack kappa genotype. KK cannot produce kappa. Only the genotype KK and KK dominance and KK dominance recessive can be muna siya ang ma-consider nato nga kappa. For example, conjunction of a killer KK and sensitive KK strain produce conjunction with very little or no absence of cytoplasmic. So, separate killer and sensitive clone are produced depending on the parent from whom they were derived. Induced autogamy or self-fertilization of the killer ex-conjugant will produce the homozygote KK and KK, which will give rise to killer and sensitive. So, cytoplasmic particles. Separate killer and sensitive clone are produced depending on the parent from whom they were derived. induced autogamy or a self-fertilization of the killer isogation will produce the homozygote and KK which will give rise to killer and sensitive. So there are some structure. Sorry, kay structure na siya. So kappa particles, this is a kappa particle scalar, or this is the parents or the kappa killer, which is the dominance KK and the dominance recessive KK sensitive. So they meet each other to form a kappa particles conjunction short duration. So after the meeting sila same ra gyapon ni siya sa Punnett square. Mo ni yang structure. You can click the PowerPoint so that you can see the structure of the kappa. So here are some break. So, cytoplasmic particles, also known as the cytoplasmic inclusion or organelles, are small structures found with a cytoplasm of a cell. These particles perform various functions necessary for cellular survival, growth, and reproduction. So, there is a type of cytoplasmic particle. First is ribosome, a small organism responsible for the protein synthesis. Second is lysosome, membrane-bound cyst containing digestive enzyme with breakdown and cycle cellular waste of the foreign substance, or also known as suicide bag. Next is peroxisome, small organism involved in the breakdown of the fatty acid. Next is the lysosome, found in the plant cell. These organelles contain enzyme involved in the breakdown of the fatty acid. Centrioles, small cellular organelles involved in the formation of the cilia, flagella, and spindle fiber during the cell division. Cytoskeleton, a network of a protein filament, microtubules, microfilament, and intermediate filament that provide structural support, shape, and movement to the cell. This is often referred to a powerhouse or energy house. Plastid, found in a plant cell. These organelles are involved in the photosynthesis and the pigment synthesis. And next is the vacuole, member-bound sacs involved in storage, digestion, and waste of removal. So, mo ni ang kuan niya sa cytoplasmic particles. And that's all. And once again, I'm Mr. Puwagang. So next is Miss Pepito Zinki.
So good day everyone, my name is Jinky Pepito, and now we'll discuss about chloroplast. So seeds from the pale plant will have only the pale plastid type. Those from the green, only green. Those from the variegated, either pale green, or mixture of the two types. Neither the genotypes nor the fertilized egg would be involved in the control of variation. So for example is kanang, for example, if the mother plant is pale, then all the seeds will only have pale plastids. Then if ang mother plant is green, then all the seeds will have green plastids. Then if the mother plant is variegated, both green and pale parts then the seeds may be pale or green. The sample structure of chloroplast. So this is the envelope, thylakoid, grana, ribosome, inner membrane, outer membrane, then plastoglobule, RNA, stroma, lamella, and DNA. So here is the function of chloroplast. Chloroplast produce energy through photosynthesis and oxygen release process. which sustain plant growth and crop yield. As such, chloroplasts are responsible for the biosynthesis of active compounds such as amino acids, photohormones, nucleotides, vitamins, lipids, and secondary metabolites. So, ang function sa chloroplast dino is mag-produce siya of energy sa photosynthesis and oxygen release process. Then sustain plant growth po siya sa imong crop yield. So next is mitochondria. So in Baker's, yes, Saccharomyces cerevisiae and his co-workers were able to identify in 1951 three p-type varieties. So mitochondria are unusual organelles. So when we say unusual organelles is kanang walay mga kumbaga kanang walay gamit nga organelles din. They act as the power plants of the cell, are surrounded by two membranes and have their own genome. Then they also divide independently of cell in which they are reside, meaning mitochondrial replication is not confined to cell division.
So good day, ma'am. My name is Lia J. Pipito and I'm here to report about the petite varieties. So what is petite varieties? So petite varieties typically refer to mutant yeast strains with impaired mitochondrial function, resulting in small colony size and altered energy metabolism. These strains are often used in research to study mitochondrial genetics and cellular respiration. So number 1, segregational petites. When crossed with the wild type, produce ascospores which segregate in the region 1 petite, 1 normal. This petite characteristics is chromosomally determined trait. So it is a yes mutants with small colony size due to nuclear gene mutations affecting mitochondrial function. So these mutations follow Mendelian inheritance, disrupting mitochondrial activity and leading to respiratory deficiency. This phenotype helps researchers study genetic control of mitochondrial function. So number 2, neutral petites. When mated with normal strains, will produce only normal or wild type ascospores and colonies. In further generations, the petite characteristic never reappears and it seems to have been lost. This behavior indicates an extra chromosomal inheritance trait. So, neutral petites are yes mutants with small colony size due to loss of mitochondrial DNA. So this loss impairs respiratory function, forcing reliance of fermentation. Neutral petites exhibit cytoplasmic inheritance, helping researchers understand mitochondrial genetics and function in yeast. So number 3 is the suppressive petites. Suppress normal respiratory behavior in crosses with the normal strains so that most of the diploid cells derive from zygote petites. Suppressive factors therefore act as a dominant trait. So suppressive petites are yes mutants with small colony size due to mitochondrial DNA mutations. So these mutations suppress mitochondrial gene expression, leading to respiratory deficiency and reliance on fermentation. This phenotype helps researchers understand mitochondrial genetics and function in yeast. The petite characteristics of yeast has been attributed to the deficiencies of cytochromes BC and cytochrome oxidase A3 that are normally found in the inner membrane of mitochondria. The mitochondria also have their own DNA and they have been known to divide or reproduce by themselves. This continuity of the mitochondria and the mitochondrial DNA explains the cytoplasmic continuity of the neutral and suppressive petites. So this is the mitochondria sample structure. So mo na siya DNA, mo na siya ang ribosomes, or ang ribosome is nag-synthesize ni siya og proteins or mo siya naghimo sa proteins. So kani siya matrix, outer membrane, inner membrane, intermembrane space, cristae, and kaning mga pula is mo na siya F0 portion, kaning braghait nito niya. Then kaning dingin mo na siyang F1 portion. So my name is Leah J. Pipito, and next na slide is Miss Punduyo ang discuss.
So good day everyone. So my name is Dictionary de Punduyo, and I'll be discussing about the function of mitochondria and also the criteria of extrachromosomal inheritance. So what is the function? The function of mitochondria is that mitochondria are often referred to as the powerhouse of the cell. And their main function is to generate the energy necessary to a power cell and also to present in nearly all types of human cell. Mitochondria are vital to our survival. So ang mitochondria daw is tada siya sa tanang type sa ato ang cell. Kompleto siya na siya sa red blood, something, mga na ng white blood. Kompleto siya na siya sa tanan. So next is criteria for extrachromosomal inheritance. The first one is the differences in reciprocal cross results. When one allows a transmission of characteristics based on chromosomal hereditary, the reciprocal crosses are ordinarily identical, except in the case of sex-linked genes. So normally, if you cross two plants, like for example, the one ay ang usa kay red and ang isa pod kay white. So switching the parents should give you the same result. So pair na siya result sa pag-bali-bali siya. But if the results are different, it might mean that trait is inherited in a special way. Like for example, if the red flower always passes its color to the offspring, regardless of whether it's a mother or father, it could suggest a non-standard inheritance pattern. The second one is non-mappability. If the chromosomes of an organism are well mapped, characteristics based on a chromosomal heredity should show linkage and should be mapped in reference to the other gene-controlled characteristics. So if a scientist can create maps of chromosomes to see where traits are located, if a trait can't be found on these maps, it might be inherited differently. So for instance, like for example, if a certain plant has a unique leaf shape that doesn't match any known chromosome location, it could indicate that this trait is passed down in a way that doesn't involve the chromosomes. So the third one is maternal inheritance. Maternal inheritance is a characteristic form of difference in the result of reciprocal crosses is maternal inheritance, where the progenies show the characteristics of their female parent. If chromosomal difference can be ruled out, maternal inheritance can be usually implies transmission through the cytoplasm. This is because the female gamete ordinarily provides more cytoplasms to the zygote than the male gamete does. So this means that the offspring inherit traits from their mother rather than their father. So mas kuan pa siya siyang mother kasi siyang papa. Then, for example, if a mother plant has a specific type of fruit and all of her offspring have the same fruit type, it suggests that the trait comes from the mother. This often happens because the egg cell of the mother contributes more cellular material than the sperm cell of the father. So mas daghan giwat ang inahan kaysa sa papa niya, like sa yung parents. So the next one is non-segregation. It Non-segregation is failure to show segregation under appropriate circumstances, may indicate extrachromosomal heredity. So the non-segregation is in typically inheritance. Traits should separate when forming offspring. If a trait doesn't separate as expected, it might mean it's inherited in a different way. So nalibot siya sa lahi po nga paagi. For example, if you expect a 50-50 split of traits in the offspring, but see all offspring is with the same trait, it could suggest a non-standard inheritance pattern. So the fifth one is non-median segregation. When segregation occurs but in the fashion inconsistent with chromosome segregation, non-chromosomal factors may have accounted for phenotypic variation. So sometimes traits do separate but not in the usual way. For example, if you expect a 3-to-1 ratio of traits in the offspring but get sometimes like 2-to-2, it might mean that something other than the chromosome is affecting the traits. This could indicate the other factors like environmental influences or non-chromosomal elements are at play. So the second to the last is the indifference to nuclear substitution, which means when heritable characteristics persist in the presence of nuclei known to have been associated with alternative characteristics. The control of the nuclear genetic material over the characteristics may be ruled out. It means that if a trait continues to show up even when the nucleus or the part of the cell that contains the DNA is replaced with one that has different traits, it suggests that the trait isn't controlled by the nuclear DNA. For example, if you take a cell from a plant with green leaves, but the leaves remain yellow, it indicates that the yellow trait is not determined by the nuclear DNA. So the last one is infection-like transmission. It means when a heritable phenotype is transmitted without nuclear transmission, it seems unlikely that chromosomes control that phenotype. It means that if a trait can be passed on without using nuclear DNA, it suggests that the trait isn't controlled by chromosomes. For example, like some traits in certain bacteria can be transferred between them, like an infection, then without involving their nuclear DNA. This means that the inheritance of these traits is not following the usual genetic rules. And once again, I am Joshua Dipondoyo, and
all our discussion for today. And once again, we are the Group 6, and thank you and God bless us all.